I'm laughing because it's its own video, because I feel so strongly about it. It wasn't the actual act of asking people for money, but yeah, it was. This is the story of my first and last crowdfunding campaign. For those of you who know me or who are about to know me, I am a Leo and Enneagram 3, which means it's very important for me to know that you know that I've got it under control and I am highly accomplished, and it's hard, but I am making it happen. I am also very type A and detail oriented and will not do something unless I can do it with 110% of my being so that it exceeds all of mine and others' expectations. I am also an eldest child. So I was raised to be self-sufficient and independent, and making it very extremely hard for me to ask people for help. Enter a crowdfunding campaign. Like if I wanted to take 10 years off of my life, I could have just smoked a pack of cigarettes. But no, I chose to run my first ever crowdfunding campaign by myself in the 4 weeks leading up to the most important shoot of my life, which ends on the day we start shooting the film that won't even happen if I, myself, Sam, don't get this money. I like feel my blood pressure rising. Like tell myself that we did it. We shot it. It happened. The movie happened. Okay. So this all started when I hired trying producer Nicole Campbell, who has experience in the indie producing world. It was actually in her interview for producer that I told her I was planning on crowdfunding for the film. And this is in May, and the film shoots in July. So she mentioned Seed and Spark, which I had never heard before, so immediately I look it up, and it's an incredible crowdfunding website that hosts specifically filmmakers who are making stories that matter, like who are telling stories that matter. So I was perfect. I was like, amazing, I'll set it up, get it going tomorrow, get this thing on the road, and oh no, May, Sam in 2021, no. That's not how it works. So what's different with Seed and Spark versus like GoFundMe or Kickstarter is that it really wants to make sure that its filmmakers are set up for success, which is really amazing. Which means there is no slap a title and a price goal on a page and post it. There are extensive steps that involve connecting potential supporters to you, the story you're telling, building a fan base, and audience members, just in the whole process. Like it's very involved. You know, you're planning for longevity, not just for the campaign, but for the success of the film, which means you gotta have videos, you gotta have graphics, incentives, goal markers, themes, cute names and content. And I'm looking at the calendar and I'm like, okay, it is about to be June. We are shooting July 22nd. The campaign itself lasts 30 days, and Seed and Spark has multiple like review processes that could span weeks. So this all needed to be done a month ago. When I tell you my heart dropped when I realized that, guys, like I really honestly thought I was gonna be able to just like do this overnight. Like who was I kidding? So, and in hindsight, my first mistake, honestly, was not pushing the shoot dates. My therapist has actually brought this up to me, that when I create a deadline for myself, I then get overwhelmed when it gets closer because I tend to overdo it and push through instead of lowering my expectations and giving myself more time to do something. And this was one of those times. You know, we're gonna use this video as an educational opportunity to anyone who is looking to crowdfund for their next film now. So I realized I have to create this crowdfunding campaign with incredible, engaging content, all basically overnight. I took a breath. My boyfriend and I shared a bottle of wine, and he helped me shoot the crowdfunding campaign video for Trying at midnight on a Tuesday. Because this needed to happen, and it needed to happen like right now. You can see the video actually. I'll post it. Check out the video and see what we put together for that. Because this is also the point in time where I stopped sleeping. You know, very fun. So at this point I've kind of like hinted at the idea of creating a film to friends. So I had made an Instagram account for trying, and I followed all of Seed and Spark's recommendations. I created an email list. I made sure friends and family and everyone on social media knew that the campaign was happening. It went through the approval processes, thank God, and on June 22nd, a Tuesday, just as Seed and Spark recommended, 30 days before we shoot the film on July 22nd, the campaign went live and the madness began. I had a spreadsheet of every person I had ever met or connected with on social media or email. Every single one. They were categorized by how I knew them. And I just want to apologize to everyone who received an unsolicited message from me asking for money. And I truly, truly thank everyone who did give to the campaign and helped try and come to life. Like, truly. I also think it's important to mention that I should have, if I had the money, in a perfect world, if I was a millionaire, I would have hired a social media manager, a graphic artist, and honestly, a crowdfunding campaign manager, if that's a thing. Is that a thing? Because any post or graphic or email message, anything you received or saw in connection to trying, like I was doing, and it was too much, y'all. It was too much. We did it, but whew. And it's not that I don't enjoy doing graphics. Like, I'm actually very proud of the trying poster. I did make the trying poster. I have never done graphics before this project, and they were very fun to do. It was just on a time crunch like this. It was a lot. And at one point I was sending messages at like 3 o'clock in the morning to people, but trying to like not scare them, being like, hee hey, and like asking them for money. Like, it was next level, guys. But anyway, after the feedback of Seed and Spark and all the prep for the campaign, you, the members of the Trying fam that are watching this, gave $6,000 on the first day, which was insane. And when I tell you I like cried and cried and cried that day, partly due to sleep deprivation, but mostly by how moved I was by the generosity of the people in my life, like my literal closest friends and family, and also understanding that there is support out there, there is help out there. You know, this was the beginning of the journey where, you know, I was taking on a lot, but it was really amazing to obviously work with the Trying team more throughout the process and have the support from them and from the people in my life. So there is a happy ending, but anyway, I mentioned it in the pre-production video, but it's also worth emphasizing that, you know, this crowdfunding campaign was happening while we're in pre-production. So the Trying team was actually working on putting the shoot together as, you know, I'm getting the money together to do it. And if I would have changed one thing, it would have been to do the campaign before, obviously, we started pre-production at all. But it's all a learning process. So in that time, you know, during the days, I'm emailing every person I've met asking them for money, and then I'm doing, you know, Zoom actor callbacks with actors, and Nicole is like signing off on gear rentals, and the two of us are interviewing, you know, Trying team members to join the project. Like, honestly, talking about it now, I can't believe it all happened. Like, all of those steps is just insane. And shout out to Bob Kakuza, whose house I was house sitting at during July 4th weekend, actually, that I was at for a large portion of pre-production, where many of these production meetings and callbacks and phone calls happened on Zoom. So at this point, I'm like on autopilot. I'm like, we gotta get this done. The Trying team is coming on. Nicole is like, psh, psh, psh. There's like a lot going on. So we're like posting on social media. I'm cranking out graphics, sending people their incentives at all hours of the night, taking meetings, memorizing my lines. I mean, honestly, looking back on it, I've actually described this time in my life as my college experience, because I didn't sleep. I had like insane deadlines to make, and it costed like shit ton of money. Like, truly, like I had never experienced anything like this before. Like, even talking about it, like this isn't just something that I just do all the time. Like, this was very much an isolated situation. So be sure to check out the pre-production video also about all the behind the scenes work that we did with the trying team to like get the film actually like ready to go for shoot date, which halfway through the campaign, by the way, we're at $9,000. So as we're in pre-production, you know, I'm crunching numbers and talking to the trying team, we're getting things together, and that's when I realized that $12,000, our initial goal, was not going to be enough money for the amount of people we've hired to be able to, I'm like, living through it to be set, or reliving it to be set for, you know, post-production and film festival submissions and all that. So now when I'm posting about the crowdfunding goal, instead of saying we need to reach our goal, I'm saying we need to surpass it. And some of you very perceptive Trying fam members caught on to that and would check in on me from time to time to see how I was doing, which I very much appreciated, because then we were in the final week of the campaign, and I mean, I think, like, honestly, I don't think I slept for 3 weeks. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. Like, it was to the point, like, literally of oblivion. I was like, is this even gonna happen? You know, because I had no idea. So we're almost at $10,000. I've done the math and realized to get the shoot done, we need at least $13,000, which is, you know, an extra $1,000 than we were anticipating. And that's not including the Seed and Spark fees. So we actually need to raise more than $13,000 so that we can get the actual 13. So we need more like $14,000. And at this point, yeah, I am stressed. Like, cause if this money doesn't happen, then it's going on my credit card, and your girl hasn't worked in a month because she's been producing a short film that she decided to do. Enter Alan Schatz, my boyfriend's dad, a self-published author, accountant, Phillies fan, and all-around artist supporter. He was one of the Perceptive Trying fan members who texted me and he says, I saw your message saying surpass the goal, and he asked me how much would we need to get the job done. And y'all, when I tell you I started crying, I remember where I was in the bathroom as text came in, and I instantly started bawling. Tensions were high, emotions were high. So Alan gave on the first day of the campaign, and my birthday was coming up the following week, so we made a deal that I would run a birthday matching, you know, fundraiser, and if half of the remainder of what we needed was raised, he would match it and get executive producer credit. That was part of the deal. But honestly, he was always going to give, and he was really, really supportive, which I will always be just so appreciative to him for. So thank you, Alan, if you're watching. So it's the final week. The cast is set. We're finalizing the trying team. Gear rentals are in place. I'm setting alarms telling myself to take naps and eat. Go watch the pre-production video. And it's the final push for crowdfunding. We still had basically $4,000 to raise in the final week. So it's, okay, yeah, by the way, everyone got their incentives. When I say like the work that the crowdfunding campaign took, I think it was the actual like momentum during the campaign, because it was like social media posts and, you know, incentives and emails. It was much more involved than I expected, and because of all the amazing graphics that were created, it took a lot of time. So just anyone who's ever thinking of doing it in the future, like, definitely take that into consideration, because it takes a lot of time. So I like talk about it and I'm like amazed and horrified at myself and what was accomplished between like June 22nd to July 22nd. So in the final week of the campaign, in honor of my birthday and Alan Schatz, you, my friends and family and the Trying fam who were watching, who gave to the campaign, gave the rest, I think it was gave over $3,000, or the $4,000 that we still needed. So on the day that we started shooting, the day the cameras literally started rolling, the Trying fam had given over, you know, 13 grand to make it all happen. What? I remember like when the Seed and Spark email came through that the goal was surpassed, I cried. There were a lot of tears. I'm a crier, guys, if you haven't noticed. I think I've mentioned crying in at least once in all these videos. And honestly, like, that was the day the nightmares stopped. Like, it was a really intense month. I truly had never experienced anything like that crowdfunding campaign, truly. You know, as an actor, it was at the point where I couldn't even be bothered prepping for the role, because I was just trying to make sure that, you know, we got the money, had the team, and we were like good to go. And it happened. I just thank you to all of you, the members of the Trying fam who are watching, who made it a reality. Like, truly, thank you. And thank you to Seed and Spark for setting me up with a platform to succeed on my first and last ever crowdfunding campaign. And thank you to Trader Joe's Green Tea and Lemonade for keeping me awake for 4 weeks straight. And to Adobe, fix your apps. I probably could have saved at least 3 days of my life if Photoshop and Illustrator didn't crash so much. Thank you so much. No, but really, to everyone who gave, thank you. We did it. We did it. We did it.